Hello, my name is Dean Ramsden, and I am a therapeutic energy healer. In this short video, I want to suggest that energy healing is an extension of our personal or human evolution process, in that being open to an energy-based or consciousness-based self-awareness shifts us from normal and everyday reality into an expanded reality. I would even go as far as to say this expanded reality is closer to the truth of matters than the so-called normal or everyday reality. Let's dig into this idea of a psychic or expanded reality versus normative consciousness, and how both receiving or practicing energy healing expands on our personal experienced reality and opens us up to new perspectives and new challenges in our evolutionary development. If you study spiritual growth work, you will soon come across the idea of enlightenment or other descriptions of an expanded sense of reality that sees normal reality as a sleep state, as a degraded experience of reality rather than one closer to any authentic truth. This is the experience of the energy healer client or healer whenever he or she moves into energy healing work, that there is a shift in personal perspectives and expansion of our reality, one that folds within it normal consciousness and the normative reality and greatly expands upon it. Breaking out of the normative consciousness state may be described as a satori or little awakening, or similar descriptor of waking up out of a dream. This awakening is rarely a fixed event, as we need to continually fall back into normative consciousness in order to relate to other people not familiar or comfortable with expanded states of consciousness. When you receive or generate an energy healing event with another person, both of you are entering an expanded reality that opens up new possibilities for the client and also for the healer herself. The functional reality of this process is to pass back and forth from normative consciousness into an expanded reality and to find ways to make sense of that journey. In terms of physical health or emotional healing, this process of expansion opens the client up to new insights and new resources that can make an enormous difference to the healing process itself. In previous videos, I have talked about the basic energy healing approach of returning the client's energy system to balance, along with the addition of new resources that the client can then use to stay in balance. The very process of self-correcting an imbalance in our lives, either physical healing or emotional and relationship healing, or even a conflict with finding authentic meaning in our lives, these imbalances challenge us to expand our personal consciousness, to integrate more of an expanded sense of self. In this way, each energy healing aims to accomplish several outcomes. Firstly, to help the client move out of suffering or pain of any kind. Secondly, to expand the client's perspective on their health or their emotional challenges, and to see alternative resources other than the ones they have thus far used in their lives. And finally, to leverage this transformative process towards developing a new and expanded sense of reality. This is the true gift of energy healing, to support a client in evolving beyond their suffering or restricted personal power and begin self-authorship. Begin to create themselves closer and closer towards experiencing their authentic identity rather than mimicking an identity others have given them along the way. This process requires on the part of the energy healer a grasp of the journey from normative into expanded consciousness, as well as the various developmental steps most of us go through on that journey. In this way, each energy healing can be a step towards the final outcome of the client accepting his or her authentic identity, along with the gaining of necessary tools to both stay in a healthy balance as well as to challenge normative self-restrictions in our lives. What does this mean on a practical level? Firstly, it means that both healer and client decide to take the courageous steps into an expanded state, one that has a goal. The goal being the expansion of the client's consciousness, along with the realization of finding balance and the embrace of personal process. Personal process is the term we often use to describe our journey from restrictive, normative consciousness towards any expanded state of both self-identity and of the world around us. Personal process is how we use the tools of psycho-emotional healing work to refine and grow our expanded sense of reality. This includes taking others into account, developing patience and compassion, and knowing that not everyone desires this personal evolution, and that most people are content to live within normative consciousness. Unfortunately, normative consciousness has built-in restrictions and control mechanisms that will, for all of us, eventually need to be overcome in order to live our best life. But that is up to each person, up to their choice and personal style. But if you are ready to expand your awareness, not only of that which causes you suffering, but of your very self-identity, so as to bring yourself closer to your authentic self, living in a multidimensional universe, then energy healing work will support you. The style of energy work you choose is less important than your internal goal of seeking freedom and psycho-emotional growth. I personally use a psycho-emotional stage model, growth that proceeds step by step, a spiral journey up and down the chakra system as my own preference. I find it gets slow but sustained forward growth, and it supports personal and spiritual evolution. But there are multiple variants of energy healing styles and different healing approaches that you can choose from. Choose an energy healing style or a practitioner that draws you intuitively towards it or towards them. First, try it on for size. Let it change you from the inside out. Don't settle for being normal. Strive to be all that you truly are and to seek for the highest level of consciousness you can attain in this lifetime. Once gained, personal evolution cannot be lost. You will live your best life in this lifetime as your true self rather than living a limited life. And then you will transfer the benefits of your life into your next life. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.